Divya. So in this video, let's learn how to make this. I basically made it using only one basic stitch, which means this project is even for absolute beginners. So I've used double crochets only in each row and then added another color once I made 3 rows of same stitch, and then continued making it all through the end, and I had to weave in the ends in the end. Okay, so basically this is the project and it is super simple to make. So if you're thinking of making it, just know that it took no longer than 2 hours to just sit and make it. So if you have little time and you want to amp up your styling, then this could make you a perfect companion. Since we are living in coastal areas, I don't have much a necessity to wear scarves, but I wanted it to be a fashion statement. That's why I made this mini scarf, and I'm also thinking of making a series of winter essentials for you since it's already winter. So get ready for super cute projects coming soon. So without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial. I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook and a DK yarn, which is like weight 3 yarn. We'll have to make a slip knot like this, and once we've done that, we'll have to make total 14 chains, which is basically 12 chains plus 2 for turning. Basically, making a chain is getting yarn over the hook and then pulling it through the main loop that's on your hook. Okay, so the base is 12 chains for me. I'm leaving the 2 chains and going into the third, pull a loop, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. This is called a double crochet, where we'll have to yarn over, insert the hook into space and pull up a yarn, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. You just have to continue making double crochets till the end, and we'll meet again. So once we're over with all the double crochets, we're finished with one row. Then to make another, make 2 chains and turn your work so you can have a foundation. Now go to the same space and do a double crochet and continue making double crochet into each of the top stitches of double crochet, which looks like a braid, by the way, just a V kind of structure. We should not insert into one loop of the chain as we did for the chains. Now it is a whole stitch, the double crochet, so we'll have to go through both of the loops and then pull the yarn from there. I'm continuing all the double crochets till the end. It's important that you don't confuse the chain 2 that we made at the end of the first row to be a double crochet. You'll have to insert into the double crochet stitches only. Then we're going to start the third row by doing chain 2 and flipping your work, yarn over, insert the hook into the same space and do double crochet, and continue making each of the double crochet into each of the double crochet in the previous row. You're using your previous row double crochets as the foundation for the double crochets we're making now. Once we're done making all the rows that we are desiring, we can add the new yarn like this into the last loop of double crochet without closing, and then pull the yarn tails like this, hold them tight along with the stitches we're making, and yarn over, insert into the same space and do double crochet, and continue making double crochets till the end just like we did. It's better to just include these yarn tails into the stitches so that we don't have an extra work to do at the end of the project. Like, we'll have to insert all of the yarn tails into the stitches using a needle. We won't have the hassle of doing all that anymore if we just weave them in as we go, just like this, inserting into the stitches that we're making right now. We'll have to go into the last stitch and do a double crochet, and we're done with the first round or a row of this lavender color. Then repeat just what we did with the previous block. So I'm going to continue making double crochets till the end. You can do how many ever rows you want to, like with different colors. You can make different color palettes using your favorite yarn that you have. Since I've used weight 3 DK yarn, it's some of the leftover yarn that I have that I'm not using anymore, so I wanted to use it for this project. The brown yarn that you're seeing is actually my most hated yarn because it's too rough and not suitable for any wearables. I've just thrown it into my cupboard and now it's found its purpose. So finally, once you're done with that, we can add another yarn from here by inserting hook into the top 2 loops, just like we did when we added lavender yarn, and cut off the brown yarn or the previous yarn that you've used, and just pull a loop through that 2 loops, and then you can continue making chain 2. Turn your work and continue doing the same stitches just like you did till now. Don't forget to include your yarn under the stitches that you're making, so you won't have to weave in the ends in the end. So by now you would have already understood the pattern that we're repeating. You'll just have to know one basic stitch, which is double crochet, and then continue making all the double crochets throughout. And you'll have to know how to attach a new yarn and weave in the ends and how to close the project. Please do not get confused with the chain 2 part with a double crochet. It is just for turning your work around. Now we'll have to repeat the same blocks all over till you get the desired length of your scarf, and we're done. Let's meet once we've finished the whole part so we can just close the project. So till now this is how it looks. Since I've just hidden the yarn under the stitches, it made it so easy for me to just cut off the ends and not weave in using a needle anymore. Just see how neat and defined the stitches are looking. And this is how it looks before. Let's finish it off by cutting every yarn. You'll just have to pull it just so you don't have any messy loops. If you're worried about these yarns coming off, you can make little knots here and there so it's more secure, and just cut off the excess. This is how you get these yarn tails at the beginning, at the end of each of the block you're making. It's important that you just pull them just a bit and then cut off. Now let's close this project by pulling the yarn a bit and cut off the yarn in there. Then pull off this little loop that we have in the end totally outside so that we make a knot in there. Now the project is finally closed. We'll have to take a tapestry or a wool needle and insert the yarn into it. And now let's try to weave in the end by inserting the needle into each of the stitches of the the ending row. These are the back stitches of the double crochets that we made. You can see that I'm carefully inserting into each of the stitch without skipping one so that we don't see the loops from the outside and it's secure. Now I want to make a little knot in there so that it won't come out since it's the end of the project. So this is the little knot that I made, so it's secure. And then I'm weaving it inside so that we don't have any yarn tails like tagging along the project. Okay, now it's good to go. We'll just cut it there and just check if we have any more yarn tails left. And voila! Here's our mini scarf. I hope you liked it. If you liked this video, kindly subscribe and like, share, comment on my channel.